before the law. You're recording. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. Praise be to Allah.
Allah. Would you please tell our audience your name?
My name is David Al-Mustafa Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a powerful man in the house. Could you tell me why you came here today?
Because I got something to say.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you the mic, bro. You let these people know what time it is.
You know, I did 30 years straight, and I just want the people out there to know, brothers and sisters, what it's like to do 30 years. You know, I come to Minnesota. You know, I've done time in Illinois, and come up here, didn't know what to expect when I got incarcerated up here. You know, so being that I got incarcerated up and not knowing what to expect, I didn't know how I was going to do that time when they told me a life sentence. First of all, I thought I would never get out of prison. And so in the process of me thinking I'll never get out of prison, I want to know how I'm going to do this time. I have no family in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? I'm away from everybody. I feel all alone, and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. So I made my mind up when I come into prison that I know what. I know I'm dealing with issues. I got issues, you know, and when I get in here, I'm going to get into the books. I'm going to get something to educate myself, you know, because not knowing what to expect and coming across the people, I know you're dealing with a different caliber of people, individuals, when you get incarcerated. So it's not like when I'm on the streets dealing with individuals. In here, there's no guns. There's no pistol play. In here, you know what I'm saying, you got to know how to fight, and you got to know whatever else that's at hand that you're going to have to use to protect yourself. You got to have that willpower, that mental. A lot of things, you know, if you ain't got the mental, the physical ain't going to matter. Because the mental is where is that, you know, what's going to keep you together through it all. Once you get dealing with your mental, then the physical fall in line. It's going to fall in line because if you ain't got the brain set of how you're going to make it and do it and while you locked up, you're going to be sure your health going to go bad. Everything's going to go bad because you pretty much gave up on life. I couldn't give up on life. Even though I'm behind the walls, I still felt like there was a lot I could do, a lot I could contribute, you know, make amends for what I did. So what I did, you know what I'm saying, I would say I would make sure I stay in contact with my family, number one. Number two, you know, whatever I come across in there, I got to deal with it. However it may be, I got to deal with it. If I lose my life in the process, so be it. It was time for me to go. You know, but if not, you know I got to get on the path, educate myself. I was brought up with a good family to educate. Always educate yourself. Acquire knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the better you can be able to move in life, no matter where you at, whether on the streets or behind the walls. So therefore, I got in there knowing I still had some issues to deal with. I got in the program. I started getting a program. Some guys, they worked out all day. Some guys, they played cards. Some guys, they played games. I went into a lot of that. Some guys just stay in their room all day and watch TV. A lot of that I went into. I was into about trying to educate myself, trying to learn about that, which I didn't know before. So I started wanting to reevaluate myself. So what I did, I started to reevaluate myself. They had like program like starting out when I was in Oak Park Heights. When I first come through the joint, I come through Stillwater. At the time, they had like guys from, you had to be a certain age to go to Stillwater. If you was over 25, you go to Stillwater. Anything under 25, you go to St. Cloud. So I didn't go to St. Cloud. I went straight to Stillwater, dressed out of Stillwater and everything. They had orientation and everything right there in Stillwater. So when I was in 8 East.
What year is this?
This was in 1992.
So in 1992, you getting inducted into Stillwater. That's the intake center for people over 25.
Correct.
And when you walked through the doors in Stillwater, did you have any fear in your heart, or how did you feel when you walked through the doors of Stillwater?
Well, no, I didn't have no fear in my heart. I just know whatever gonna come, you know, because at the time me being affiliated, you know, and then where I come from, you know, I was already, man, just ready for whatever came to me. Mm-hmm. You know.
You said you did a little bit of time at the crib.
Yeah, I did time up in Illinois in Pontiac prison. You know, which is they had 3 maximum prisons in Chicago: Pontiac, Menard, and Stateville. And so I was in Pontiac, which they call the Thunderdome, and I did time there, which is a total.
Why they call it the Thunderdome?
Because all they do, man, every day somebody getting stabbed or a staff is getting assaulted. You know, just before I just got there, they had just had a riot there because a Latin King had just got killed for over a rug.
Yes, sir.
They just tore the whole prison up, you know, for that. You know, so when they lock them down there, they don't go on lockdown for a week or 2 weeks. They go in there for a month or 2 months. They go in there for months, you know. And it's just a whole different monster of dealing with that up there compared to dealing with up here. But I didn't know what to expect when I got up here. I thought up here was going to be the same as up there. You know, they don't have the education program in Illinois like they do up here. They have some, and then it's limited if you're a lifer. They got things like they call JCs, lifer JCs, and they're the ones that deal with, because you locked in your cell most of the day. I won't tell you come out yourself unless you're in school or you got a job. Otherwise, you come out and go to the yard. That's it. Otherwise, you locked in your cell. So ain't no coming out on no, ain't no flag time and all that. You know, you in your room, and JC is the one, the lifer is the one to be out that's selling you stuff. They got the phone that's in the wall. And it depends on who you is, whether you get a phone call, whether you call your family or not.
So you gotta be related, you gotta be affiliated to get the phone?
Affiliated, or yeah, pretty much. Or if somebody knows, you know somebody. Yes. And so me doing that there, I was expecting that to be the same here.
So what's the difference when you get up to MNDOC?
MNDOC, when I got there and I seen it, I still, again, I thought it was going to be the same until I got in there. I did the dress out and everything. They took me through the intake files to AEs. And when I seen it, one like that, what they had a microwave out there. They had microwaves out there. They had what it was flag time, where they out there playing cards, people sitting in this and that. And I'm like, wow, they doing this? You know, so I seen it was gonna be a little bit more easier than up there. Where they east, you still couldn't even come out the building and stuff. You had to lay up here, and then they bring you the food and stuff to you. They bring the food and stuff to you.
So is A East at the time like B East was? Like it's a shoe unit?
Yes.
So it's a shoe unit at the time when you come in. So you in a shoe unit until you get a job?
No, you stay over there for about a couple of weeks. Because I guess you do that, like they'll take you stay over a couple of weeks, they give you a little tobacco and all this, and then you'll come out to get the job. You ain't gonna necessarily get the job, they just wanna take you through the process of what you're gonna go through.
So you're doing orientation.
You're doing orientation because you're going into the health services, education as far as your GED, or where they want to see where you at, your aptitude and all that. And once they get all the orientation stuff squared away, then they let you out into population.
Okay.
Then you follow up on your job stuff. But they keep you away from population until you go through your orientation. They don't want you involved with population until you completed your orientation.
So when you said when you came up here and you got to AEs, you really didn't know nobody?
No.
You didn't know nobody from Minnesota?
No.
What brought you up to Minnesota?
Well, I wanted to chat. I just got through doing time in Chicago. And I wanted to try to change the environment. You know what I'm saying? Change like the settings and stuff. So that's kind of what, you know, far as changing my life for what I was involved with when I was in Chicago. And so that's kind of what brought me up to Minnesota. You know, and I brought my kids and stuff up here too. So I got up here, got to working, got involved with other stuff. One thing led to another. I ended up getting a life sentence.
How long were you up here before you caught that life?
I think about a year.
About a year.
Almost a year.
Okay. So at that time when everything dropped down, did you regret coming up here, or you thought you should have stayed at the crib? I mean, what was your emotional state when everything was dropping down, when you was going through that county time and fighting your case?
I should have stayed at the crib.
You should have stayed at the crib. Yeah.
I should have stayed at the crib. You know, matter of fact, it's ironic you asked me that because I just talked to my mom before this had happened and was telling her about a prior situation, and she was telling me to come back to Chicago, and I said, give me till Christmas, and I never made it to Christmas.
That's
I ended up getting a life sentence.
Yeah, time.
Behind that.
Yeah, you don't.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
you
get
think
that time.
Yeah, you think you
Not
got
listening.
time. Yeah, you think you got time to do all these things. You know what I'm saying? And it's time caught up with you. Time to go. So yeah, so now we in A East. You get out of A East. What's the first block you go to? The A East.
I went to B East. I went to B East.
Okay, was that the worker unit still?
Yep, it was the worker unit. Then I went to I went to B West.
Okay.
I went to B West because that was the education unit.
Okay.
And so that's where I went to because I ended up getting put in the education unit.
Okay.
And so I went to school. I started out going to school there, you know. And then, no, matter of fact, let me back up. I didn't even make it to population.
What happened?
I think I was in population for a week, and I got into a fight and got sent to Oak Park Heights.
Fight for what? What happened?
I got into a fight with helping another brother that was supposed to be fighting somebody, helping him out. He ran, and I got caught in the mix of it.
Yeah.
They sent me to Oak Park Heights, but they didn't send me straight to Oak Park. They put me in segregation first. They put me in the hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Then after I was in the hole for like 20-something days or something, almost 30 days back in the hole, then they sent me to Oak Park Heights.
So was that on some business tip? Was he one of the guys and you got into it with it? Or was it just somebody you met that you was helping, a celly? Who was this dude you was trying to help out?
It was one of the guys that I went to go try and help that was having a problem with somebody else to make sure he take care of his business.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I was going to help one of the guys, and I ended up getting caught up in the mix and getting sent to the hole, and then getting sent to Oak Park Heights.
So how was Oak Park Heights when you get there? Is it because I know when I got there it was just straight lockdown. So is it visitation up there? What's Oak Park Heights like when you get there?
Oak Park Heights, they do have visitations. When I got there, I didn't know what to expect when I got there because I'm hearing things that this prison is underground.
Yeah.
And so when they tell me it's underground, I'm literally thinking it's underground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to see no daylight or nothing. So
yeah.
So now all kind of stuff is going through my head when they told me this prison is underground. Until I get there, you know, then I see something different. I said, okay. But again, I didn't know what to expect because there's a more maximum compared to Stillwater. And so I'm getting there, and I'm checking it out. I'm in orientation again, and I just look out the window and just get to go. They got like a courtyard.
Yeah.
I'll go out there, and then I can see what's going on. And I'm like, oh, they told me this was underground. So now I'm starting to see a different view of everything that I was told.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to experience a lot of different stuff to what I was told. It wasn't like I thought it was.
Right.
It was like people was trying to explain to me.
So
about
it's not underground, it's built into the ground.
Exactly.
And it's like 6 stories down.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's off a cliff. So, but for all intents and purposes, you are underground, but you're not underground as you would think. It's not like you're buried in the ground.
Exactly.
But because I was in Max, administrative Max, MX, where I was down there. And when you're down there, you can look up, you can see the guards walking on what would be the roof of the penitentiary.
Right.
Because you all the way down in the ground, you look up and they walking, doing their little patrol. So it is, but it's not like you think. It's not buried in the ground.
Right.
You still see light.
Right.
You know, you can see up, you can see stuff like that.
Exactly. You can still see the daylight. You can see everything you can see everything, style and everything, but in my mind already, when I was told, I'd already programmed into myself that it was literally underground. You ain't gonna see no daylight or nothing.
Right.
You know?
So you done with SIG time when you get to Oak Park Heights. So you in general pop, or do they still put you back in SIG before you come out of Oak Park Heights?
No, they put me straight in orientation.
They put you straight. So what unit you in? Unit 5, 1?
I think I was in 5 was segregation.
Yeah, 5 was segregation. Yeah.
And 1 at the time, 1 was treatment.
Okay.
They 1 was still treatment there, and so I think I was put in I was put in the education unit. But you put in the unit, but you still got to go through an orientation process. You know, 5 was segregation, 1 was a treatment, and 2 and 3 was like the industry.
Yeah.
Unit. And 6 was the
Health.
kitchen.
Oh, okay.
6 was the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Did they have a hospital over there still?
No, 6 was education. The 7 was the kitchen.
Okay.
6 was
Was the hospital over there?
Yeah, the hospital was there, but it wasn't as advanced like they got it now.
Okay.
And that was over by the gym.
Okay.
That always have been over by the gym.
Did they have y'all going to the cafeteria, or y'all was they still serving y'all in cells? I mean, in the cells, because when I was there was no cafeteria. Everything was delivered to the cells.
Same thing. The same thing was always they had guys like they call in-house servers, and what they would do, the in-house server would go get the food and roll them down on a cart to whichever designated unit they had to take the food. So there was never a cafeteria per se for the population to go to.
Yeah, they do have a cafeteria in there, but you never see it. That's what people don't know about that spot. Everything's served in your cell. You know, everything's limited. Limited access to everything.
It's real isolated.
It's really super duper isolated. So how long? What did anything happen to you in Oak Park Heights? Did you just drop down to Stillwater pretty smooth? Did you get into any altercations up there at Oak Park Heights?
Yes, quite a bit happened to me in Oak Park Heights. I got there, I did a little orientation and everything. I got in education. So I'm in education and stuff, and what I did was going for my GED, which was taking me a while to get. And so in the process, and I'm going to say for fighting and things like that, I start off by doing anger management. Because as I said before, I know I had issues, and I wanted to try to nip that in the bud, start that early.
So keep that point. Now, the issues that you had with anger, was that coming from the way you was raised as a child, or what you picked up on the streets? Did you ever identify why you were so angry?
That was picked up on the streets.
On the streets?
On the streets, because raised as a child, I was raised good, family. I got a big family, you know what I'm saying? The family raised me good, grandmother raised me, all of them, so.
What part of Chicago you from?
I'm from the South Side, originally from Allgill Gardens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As they call it, the Wild Hunters.
Wow.
That's what they call it now, but I'm originally from Allgill Gardens.
Yeah, sure.
Block 2.
Yeah, I know that. It's all good. So back to your anger management. So you decided to do treatment, you decided that you needed anger management, so you're going through anger management at Oak Park Heights.
Yes, I'm going to anger management, because I was mad. They gave me all this time. I'm mad because I'm away from my family. It was just a whole lot of different things was going through my mind at the time, So in order for me to deal with myself, I took a step back to reevaluate myself. What do I got to do? Because these people just gave me a life sentence, mind you. I'd never see daylight again. This is when my mind, I'd never see daylight again. I'd never be out there with my family again. So what am I going to do to maintain self and make it through this?
How did you, like, it's easy to say it, and it's rolling off your tongue, but how do you look up in the mirror and say that, like, I ain't gonna never get out? Because I know what my little time did, like 8.5 years, and it was tough for me to look in the mirror and say, I ain't gonna get out to this particular day. And I was getting out, going home. How did you do it? That's the question I want to ask.
How did I do it is that,
How did you eat that? Like, get up, still stay motivated, knowing that you're going to be in this box for the rest of your life. At that time, that's what you thought. At the time, that's going through your head. How did you do that?
Well, to be honest, it was my family.
Okay.
My family, being able to talk to my family, talk to my mom. My mom was there from the day I went to court, my whole bit until she passed away while I was in that. She was there the whole time.
Talk to her
I talked to her every week. I talked to her, and then she got once a year. She would come to visit me from Chicago. But my family, because I'm like, damn, I don't know if I can do this.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But to be honest, really, be honest in my mind, I'm like, I ain't finna commit no suicide. I'm not finna kill myself.
Right.
So I said, no, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do, because some people that's not mentally strong will actually go crazy.
Yes, definitely.
They say they got a life sentence and never get out. They will go crazy up there and lose their mind. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or they commit suicide.
Yeah.
They'll do one of the two. So
What I see is they try to acclimate the prison life to being out in the world, and they get caught up in that.
they get stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, they get stuck, and this is the only life I know. So I'm gonna give me a boyfriend. I'm gonna sit up shop, and I'm gonna act like this is the real world. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Become delusional.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen that happen too. I've seen it go on. So through all those obstacles, you veered yourself through it, and it started initially with you just saying, "Let me check in with myself and figure out what I need to make me a better person."
Exactly. You know, as I said, I got to reevaluate myself. You know, how I'm gonna make it through this, because even though I was incarcerated, and I hate to say my family's incarcerated too.
Yes.
You know, so if I did any of those things, suicide was crazy. And they, you know, how that look, you know, I've got to still converse with them and breathe on them. I had a niece and nephew coming up, you know, my little brother's kids, you know, and them two, you know what I'm saying, I feel like, man, I got to get myself right if I'm going to breathe on them, you know, because I feel like I let them down by even getting myself put in the position in the first place.
Yes.
You know, I feel like I let them down.
What about your kids? Because you said you brought your children up here.
My son, I brought my son up here, and I had to send him, and the thing is that with my son, I had to send him back to Chicago, which I felt like I let him down. And with him, you know what I'm saying, is that I think it affected his life, because I got him out of school in Chicago, brought him and registered him in school up here in Minnesota. When I get convicted this crime, you know what I'm saying, committed this crime, then my mom had to take him back out of school up here to take him back to Chicago. And to me, that affected his schooling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Getting taken out of one school to one state, go back to another school, back to that state, and affecting his schooling, putting him behind in this and that. So I feel like I also let him down big time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And by me doing that, that affected me and that hurted me a lot. And so I'm like, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? To try and make it up out of here, and so I could be a better person, a better man. You know what I'm saying? The father part is pretty much gone. I'm in here, but yet it don't have to be.
But this so that you're saying a lot of things, but that's coming from somewhere. Where's that coming from? That conversation in your mind, like, I want to be a better father, I want to be a better man, I want to be this, I want to be that, because it's easy for me to get up in there and turn away from everything, right? You know, just be like, forget my family, forget everybody. I'm just gonna do my time, because that's all I can see. I know with me, I went to prison older, so I had a lot of those milestones and markers. You young, you know, not young, but you still at a point in your life
20s, yeah,
where you could go either way. So what was there a person in what made you follow along that road? And I know the family is there, support is definitely keen. Is there anybody in prison that you looking toward, a vision that gave you the path that you jumped on?
Well, I didn't really know nobody. There's a few people from Chicago in there. I didn't really know them cats, so it was kind of hard to gravitate to them in a way, but I did in a sense, because you got some shady cats up there too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too quick to gravitate to a lot of people and stuff, so I was kind of to myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the fact I've been to myself, I can't just be stuck in that room.
No.
So, and like I said before, you end up going crazy or committing suicide. So that's what's about to happen, and I know the toll that it took on my mom. So I'm like, I was experienced. I was trying to look and say, who can I, who would I gravitate to, and who would get, who's on that knowledge tip. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to better themselves, and I know the way I was brought up is that always educate yourself.
Yeah.
Because the more educated you is, the more things you can make happen, the more doors you can open.
Right.
And doing that, I said, well, if they ain't on what I'm on, then, I'm just going to keep on moving forward. I seen a couple of guys that, that would try to get into school, but a lot of them was still with a lot of other things. Don't get me wrong, I was in folly as well, but my mind was always on education.
Yeah.
It was all on education because I was bringing. So I still get into that. And even though doing that when I was in the program, I go to the hole still.
Yeah.
So because you take these programs, you know what I'm saying, it ain't like they go work instantly.
Right.
Because you got to want it to work.
Yes, sir.
You know.
So let's just fast forward. When did it work? When did you feel like you became that individual that saw a light at the end of the tunnel, or saw focus like this? You know what? I'm done with all this foolishness. No matter what, I'm gonna be a pillar in my community. You know what I'm saying? Which I met you as.
All right. So I first, when I was in Oak Park Heights, I started going up to Juma, you know, and cause I was like, you know, my mom was coming up from Chicago. She'd catch the bus up here sometimes. You know what I'm saying, just to visit me, and that was hurting me. But a lot of times that and sometimes she would drive, but she would catch the bus up here and bring my niece and nephew. So my niece and nephew pretty much see me grow up in prison. So I started going to Juma because I said, like, I want to get away from all this foolishness. I got to change my life around because if I'm going to be breathing on my niece and nephew, I got to be right myself.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I want to have a peace of mind, you know, knowing what I did and try to make amends for what I did. I can't change what happened. What happened, happened. But I can try to make amends to be a better person. You know, so I said, well, I got to straighten myself up, you know, and I can start breathing on others. So I started going to the library, start reading the stuff, you know, about our culture. You know, I read a lot about our culture and stuff. I used to be in contact with writing a brother named Jubair Muhammad, you know, in the Nation of Islam. So I was writing him, you know what I'm saying? He responded, I conversing back and forth with him. So I started trying to reach out and contact people out in the community, you know, and I started going up to Juma, and I eventually, you know, I told this one brother named Jihad, I said, man, you know what? Man, I'm finna take my kalima shahada, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I became a Muslim. You know, when I became a Muslim, you know, then I changed my name. Originally, my name was David Wayne Washington. So I changed my name from David Wayne Washington to David al-Mustafa Islam. And so from that point on, you know, I started making some adjustments in my life, you know, getting more into the programming, you know, anger management, changing lifestyles, trying to get my GD. They even created another program over there called Choices.
What about Changing Faces?
Changing Faces, that wasn't until I got over to Stillwater. Yeah, they had a program over there called in Oak Park called Choices. Okay. I also got involved with that. Choices was consist of helping juveniles. Juveniles that was coming, they would break from Red Wing. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of lifers. And they would have all the lifers come up there, and it was like a group setting.
Yeah.
And they had a group setting, they had these juveniles come up there, and we start off in a group, and then with the winter, we had to break off into one-on-one with the juveniles to try and get them to go a different route than what they was on.
What happened to that program?
I don't know if they still have that over there or not. You know, because this was like the pilot. They had started it off, and I don't know whether if it continued after I left or what.
Yeah, it sounded like Scared Straight.
It was almost like that, but it was kind of different because they had one kid that they were going to kick out of the program because they said he was really rebellious and that because he wasn't trying to hear it. We got brothers in the joint and all this and that. So, but we as lifers, we told them, no, don't kick him out. Let us talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And you got one lifer that was on death row. You know,
yeah, death row or from another state because they never had it.
He's from another state.
Yeah.
He was another state because see, Oak Park Heights, they didn't just have state prison; they had federal prison.
I remember when I watched the old Locked Ups, they show them different, showing them wearing clothes, showing them all that like when they first opened it up. So it seemed like they had feds in there too at the time. Yeah,
I wasn't there when they first opened it.
Yeah,
it was the wilds up in there. But they do have feds there that they didn't send from other prisons.
Yeah. And
they had one dude, like I said, it was from that was on death row, and he told his story about him being on death row, and we had him in that group with us as well. And so they broke off to the one on with the kid. But when we got through, the same kid that was acting rebellion changed his whole demeanor, and so they decided to keep him in that group. You know. So, but moving forward on that, programs like that I was getting involved in. And things that was starting to help me to readjust myself, you know, look at what I'm doing and look at where do I want to go in life, what I want to try and do, what contribution did I want to make.
Yeah.
You know, but with all that being said, how can I do all this from behind these walls?
Right.
You know, how can I do all that? How can I make the people in the public understand and see? Because people in the public is already judgmental. And they already got their mindset about how prisoners is, you know, and what they, you know, they criminals. You know what I'm saying? What can they tell me? You know, we even had some youngsters say, man, you locked up like I am. What can you tell me?
Right.
You know, you run across those individuals.
Right, hard heads.
You know, exactly. So, but I don't do from what I say, I do from my actions.
Yes.
I let my actions speak for what I need to tell you.
And that's how I always met you. Like, you walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? Didn't listen to the words, just watch the man. Watch what he do, his deeds and his deeds. You judge a man. And that's how I judged you. And I seen how you walked and seen how you carry yourself and seen the respect you given. And that's what attracted me to you. And
Yes,
you know,
sir.
that's how we build our universe. So we still like, now you go to Juma, now you part of the community, and you rising up through the community.
Right.
Right. So what year do you come down to Stillwater?
I leave Stillwater in 1999.
No, Oak Park.
I leave Oak Park in 1999 going to Stillwater.
Going to Stillwater.
I go to Stillwater. And man, it's crazy because going to Stillwater coming from Oak Park Heights, the programming and the programming of how they program individuals, the mindset, man, it messes with your mind because going to Stillwater come Oak Park Heights is like coming out of SIG.
Yeah.
Because Oak Park Heights, due to the fact it's so isolated,
Yeah.
and you go to Stillwater,
Yeah.
and you're in the open field.
Yeah.
I mean, the cells. I was paranoid as hell because I get to Stillwater and being in Oak Park Heights. And I go to my room, my cell, and come back, and I was literally standing on the wall, my back to the wall, because I didn't want nobody in back of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I did this for a couple of weeks. Guys walk up to me and said, "You all right?" I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. You know, I just want to see everything that's moving. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing in back of me.
Right.
You know,
For sure.
but in the same token, I started, you know, and that's why I went to B East at the time. You know, and I went there, and so I'm doing that, and I'm trying to see what program is being offered. You know, because I took all the program they had over in Oak Park Heights, you know, so now I want to see what the program they got to offer here to continue that journey of trying to educate myself. You know, I can't educate nobody else if I'm not educated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me to breathe on my niece and nephew and anyone else that want to learn or ask questions, then I got to be able to relay it. If I can't relay it, then do my research and then come back and let them know. So I try to find out what other programs I got. So I didn't finish to get my GED while I was in Oak Park High, so I could take, because I kept going back and forth to the hole. So I continued, got back into education when I was in Stillwater. And so I'm in education. I'm working. I worked out in computer for schools for about 3 years or so. Left that and got an education. You know, then I started doing a little programming they have there. But I also took a correspondence course there with Blackstone Career Institute while I was there.
For the law.
For the law.
Yeah.
You know, because me seeing what was going on in there and how they was treating a lot of guys, I'm like, whoa, you know. And guys putting in lawsuits and all this and that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Guys standing in the law library. I would go to the law library when I was in Oak Park Heights, but the law library is like a closet.
Yeah, I know I was up there, yeah.
It's like a little closet.
Yeah, it's
so
bogus.
only so people cause man, that law library ain't too much bigger than your bathroom. And so they could squeeze maybe two people could get in there with the books. So they ain't really no wide range of books that you could look at that you could do law work with.
They opened it up a little bit more, you know, where I think what you talking about is where they got the books at, and then they got like a couple, like maybe 2 or 3 computers you can jump on now.
Exactly.
But it's still small. It's still super small, man. Ain't nothing popping up there, you know, and it's hard to get up in there too.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into the law library, so they was definitely trying to keep the law from folks.
Yeah, so I mean, because there's so much that bogus, the guys got to get up there, deadline, this and that. And so I got to Stillwater, you know, I signed up for the library. You know, I found out, see how the library, okay, the law library is better over here. You know what I'm saying? The library is better, everything is a little better. So I want to build my horizon, whereas they now get into the library more. I go to the law library, because mine, I'm doing my own case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Where you trying to appeal it?
Yeah, I was trying to appeal it. You know,
Yeah.
I was trying to appeal it, going for PC. PC stands for post conviction.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to do that, and in the process, learning other laws pertaining to us. You know, so in the process, I'm learning the law, but I'm also learning about these policies.
Yeah.
While incarcerated, because a lot of the time the policy they be out of pocket with a lot of policy they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you innocent of the policy, they'll tell you, well, we gotta do something, and still send you to the hole for these amount of days. So if you know that I didn't do this, I don't know why you still want to send me to the hole just to please them.
Yup, and then mess up your
You know
job,
what I'm saying?
mess up your housing.
Right, and it goes on your record.
Everything.
That's on your file.
Yeah.
You know, and later on down the line, that be brought up.
And that's sort of where I wanted to be at, because a lot of cats come into the joint and they do all this reckless ass stuff and they don't realize, and that's sort of what the commission was talking about too, it's like they don't realize that that's affecting you even getting out, affecting housing, affecting, you know, just schooling, everything, that foolishness. So like right away you have to get your mind right and start looking at, like, I ain't gonna be here forever. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do that's gonna help me so I can get out, right? So all that programming you're talking about, they looking at your disciplinary record before they let you into those particular programs.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we talk to individuals like yourself who understood right off the bat, you know what, I need to do what I can do to get into these programs so I can at least better myself. Growth.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it was all about, growth. I want to continue on growing.
Yes, sir.
Because you have people from the outside that do still believe in some of the guys on the inside. And so they come in as resource people.
Yeah.
So when them resource people come in, you try to touch base with them and let them know what's going on. They'll try to create something. And so this is another outlet, a way to try and reach out to the community to let them know what you are doing and what you have to offer for contributions to the community.
Yes, sir.
You know, just because you're in here, you know, you have some people just give up. I could have easily gave up and said, man, I don't know what I'm going to do, the time or whatever. Because I ran the guys this life and said, man, I ain't got nothing left for. Everybody's dead, so I don't care. I'm just, man, when I die, I die.
Yeah.
I wasn't going. You know, I got family out there, you know, friends that I have out there that I've accumulated in the hills, good friends and stuff, that become part of my family.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so with that, you know, I started getting more involved with programming, try to see some of the same brothers that's on the same page that I'm on. And so I got into the other program, got into AVP. I got into, did the Change the Faces, which you just spoke about.
Yes.
You know, which was Pat Paulak,
Yep.
you know, which is building character.
Yes, building character. Yeah.
Building character.
Yep.
You know, I got this program with a teacher they had, they called Miss G.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where I was going to get my GD, which why I got my GD. She created a lot of programs like teaching you guys about stock market and other things like that. I took my correspondence course about that. So these things was helping me through this 30 years.
Yeah.
Educate myself.
Yes.
Getting involved in everything I can get into to help me on that level of helping others, as well as helping myself. And having some of that self-care, you know what I'm saying, to kind of educate myself on the law, educate myself on the policies, but also to help, because there's some guys in there that, you got guys that can't even read or write.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is pathetic. It's a shame.
You know, when you said that, I immediately thought about It. Remember About It?
Yeah, I remember About It.
Couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't do nothing. You know, and he would always be in a law library trying to work on his case. And he couldn't do anything. And he was a grown man. You know,
Exactly.
You ask yourself, how does a man make it that far and still be illiterate? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's as soon as you said that just clicked, like they're individuals, or their reading level is so low, they got the comprehension of like maybe a fifth grader.
Exactly.
When it comes to it. And it's not like it's a few, it's a lot of individuals who are at that level of understanding.
Exactly.
You know? And they're going through the legal system where they're taking these plea deals and they getting conned into all this stuff where they really don't understand what's going on. And people don't understand that aspect of it. And I know if I've seen a bunch of them, you've seen a bunch of them come through, and they really don't even know what time of day it is with their case.
They don't, you know, and then they pay somebody to do their case, And the guy come there, he did a poker video just because it looked good.
Yeah.
He think it's all good.
Yeah, it ain't no
and
good.
And it's broke his head. Ain't no good.
Yeah.
And that little thing right there could mess this guy mess him up for getting in the courts forever.
Yeah, definitely.
It could mess him up for getting out.
Yeah.
Not knowing that these dudes is working on a case, and it could affect him where that he could not get back into court because they said, well, you should have brought up this issue, or you should have dealt with that.
Yeah.
I had one guy that did the Blackstone Career Institute like I did, and I seen him working on people's cases, and I said, man, look here, that's wrong. I don't care.
Who was that? You don't want to say?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he had me mad as hell.
Doing a bunch
I said, man, you working on dude. This is dude's life you messing with.
Yeah.
You know, he just wanted the money.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's a hustle.
It's a hustle. Yeah, it's a hustle.
But I would get frustrated because this person don't have a clue about the law. You know what I'm saying? And he don't know nothing about it. And because of his ignorance and illiteracy, not knowing how to read or write or what is shown to him, he just go with whatever.
Or he want to sit on the card table all day. He ain't got time to go to the law library. You know what I'm saying? He just, I'm gonna pay Buddy, $50 in canteen and have him do my legal work for me. And Buddy ain't doing nothing but sending him up the river. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Look up a couple of statues. You know what I'm saying? He don't even do a lot of shepherdizing. You look up a couple of statues.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go, man. This is X, Y, and Z. You'll be good.
Yeah, you think it, like you say, you look good, but it ain't good.
Exactly. And so I was getting involved. I even got into the one program. They started a pilot, then they got it going and started off, it was called Peer-to-Peer Hope.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And when Paige, she started that program, it was dealing with lifers. Guys that's been locked up so long. And it was it really was discussion about how do they make it through their time, what is they doing to deal with their time, you know what I'm saying, and how is it affecting, just affect them at all as a whole.
Which is important, you know what I'm saying?
And so it was mental issues as well, because they got a thing where some guys, they just need to vent. And if you ain't got nowhere to vent, no one to talk to you can vent to, and you try to talk to a staff, to them, that's hostile. Now they gonna see the whole, but all the time you just looking for somebody to vent. Definitely. So this is one of them places, the guys can vent, talk about their lifers, because sometimes you got guys that's short, and all they do, they still got that street stuff on their mind, where they come in and talk about the streets. Man, we in there for the rest of our life. I don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
I don't want to hear that mess.
Yeah.
I'm in there for the rest of my life dealing with what I got to deal with in here. I might never see the streets again. And you coming in with all this drama, get away from me with that.
Yep.
So I get with like-minded individuals, other lifers, because we dealing with what right here and now.
Yes, sir.
We dealing with how these people affecting us as far as the kitchen is concerned, how they affecting us with health services concerned, how they affecting us with education is concerned, what type of education, how they affecting us, what are they setting up to prepare us for when we get out, or for those who are getting out, what are they doing for them that are getting out?
Yes, sir.
Not so much of us. So life, we think about some, not all, some, think about along those lines of what are they offering in here. And so I put myself in it, because I like to help people. That was just me. You know what I'm saying? That was how I was raised. So I like to try to educate myself as much as I can. And I ain't too proud to say I don't know something.
Right.
I go ask for, man, look here, man, what's this? How's this? In the beginning, I wouldn't try to ask nobody nothing. But then I got to humble yourself, get out of that ego, get out of all that.
Just like,
you know what I'm saying? The only way you go grow, unless you ask for help.
Right.
Because you can't do it all by yourself.
That's the key. So now send me on the track to how David Islam get out of prison. Because I wasn't around when it all started to happen. I heard about it. So when did it start? How did you feel? Did you believe he was gonna get out? Like, take me on that track. When did it start? When did you feel like it was I'm really gonna walk up out of here? What year is it?
This is around 2015. He was going to a lot of life. This was when Tom Roy was still commissioner.
Yeah.
they were going to a lot of lifers, and they would say, well, they started ready. They looking at Tom Ward, looking at trying to let guys lose lifers. And he said because he feel like 20 years is enough.
Yeah.
You have some guys that been in a lot longer than me. They was under the old law, 17 to life, so it been in a lot longer than me. And then I was under the 30 to life, and so they was starting to let some guys go. But mind you, to be honest, I might have been tripping, but this is because of the programming of self. I went up there, they started putting up in the conference room with the warden and some of the other staff and stuff, and said, well, how do you feel about going to X, Y, and Z? Now, some of the lifers said, man, I ain't going nowhere. So I got up there just because of my mentality, and I done educated myself a lot, but I don't know what would make me do this. They said, man, I told them, I got up there together, I said, I'm cool, y'all can leave me right here. Send me home from where I'm at.
And that's Stillwater.
And that's Stillwater. I'm in Stillwater. I said, send me home from where I'm cool. I don't want to go. But my medium was a step down from Stillwater to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
But because I've established so much here in Stillwater, got involved with so much here in Stillwater, that programming of institutionalization was kind of setting in.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Set on with me. I was the same way.
You know, and so I'm like, they said, well, no, you can't stay here. You got to go. You know, so I go back. You know, this is on my mind. I go back, and I said, they said, man, what is wrong with you, man? You tripping? Why you don't want to go, man? You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm processing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm processing everything. And even though they told me, well, you can't stay, you going. You know, and they said you be going to medium and soon. They didn't give me no date. They said soon, for security purposes. Next man I know, they tell me, case manager called me and told me, yeah, you're going to Faribault.
Mm-hmm.
Now they wanted to put me in treatment while I was there, you know, which wasn't mandated.
Right.
But this was something recommended by the case manager. So due to the fact it was recommended by the case manager, they said I had to take it. So I said, well, you recommend me treatment, but I ain't gonna take it. He said, well, you can take it where you at. So I leave 2015 from Stillwater to go to Faribault.
Yeah.
So I'm in Faribault now. And I get involved where I did just my auto programming while I was going to do Stillwater. I did a couple of college classes, you know, I did the build the character, did the correspondence, did some African groups, you know, they had coming in and stuff. And so I wanted to get into some more programming and vocational, but it was time for me to go, you know. So I get this Faribault, and they tell me that I got to do treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I knew it was coming. You know, I ran to my guy Jamaica, which I missed. You know, he was another lifer, and he didn't make it out.
Yeah.
You know, I ran to my guy Jamaica. He's coming from treatment. I had my appointment going to treatment. He said, Islam, no matter what they say, whatever they tell you, just say yes. Just say yes. I'm looking like, man, you tripping. He said, just say yes. So I get up there. They go through their little formalities. You know, get involved in treatment. I said yes. You know, I got into treatment and stuff. And so I'm also trying to see what other programs I can take while I'm up here. Now, they say if you got your GED, you automatically get in vocational whatever. That wasn't the case.
Mm.
You know, even though I tried to get them, they kept shooting me down at Faribault. So I get into treatment, and you're in treatment, you can't do no program other than treatment.
Right.
And
K1,
so,
K2.
Yeah.
That's what
so I had to do treatment. I had to do the treatment. And I tried to, they had one program, they said, at first they said you could do Power of People, but then a lot of programs they had that you could do, they stopped them. They said you couldn't do it anymore. You got to focus strictly, wholeheartedly on treatment. So I did the treatment and stuff, went through that, you know, which did me a lot of good, you know, because it helped me to unveil a lot of things that I was holding in. And the first thing I said treatment was that it's sex offenders. I ain't trying to be around no sex offenders.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to get up there telling them nothing about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or alcoholic. You know, I'm not no alcoholic. You know, so I said that they put me in there, but come to find out it ain't just about alcohol and all that. It's a variety of things. It's dealing with you on a whole lot of different levels.
Yeah.
You know, and so I come to find that out. I come to like it so much that I did treatment. I stayed as a mentor.
Okay.
You know, I stayed as a mentor, and I did that for a while, and then went back to I left it for various reasons, you know, and I went and got into worked as Linden.
Yeah.
And I went to school, went to this thing, what they call it as a post-secondary.
Okay.
Post-secondary, I left treatment with the post-secondary, stayed there for a while, then left post-secondary and went to Linden as an aide.
Yeah.
But before I went there, when I was in post-secondary, I had to get a surgery. And when I had to go get a hip replacement. And so when I went to get my hip replacement, they put me in Linden. And while I was in Linden, I talked to the sergeant over there and said, look here, you know, and there was a lot of guys. When I come over there, so many guys, there were lifers and non-lifers, and they would greet me. So the staff was like, damn, who is this? You know what I'm saying? Because so many people would come and greet me because I knew so many people from Stillwater. You know, all these guys, you know what I'm saying, you know, the guys and stuff. So it was cool to see all the guys again. I was surprised. I wondered what some of them were, but they were just, Linden was just full of them.
Now, Linden is like the hospital unit for Faribault.
Yes, it's the hospital unit for Faribault.
And it's a totally different unit.
Totally different. It's their own unit.
Yeah, they got their cafeteria in there.
Yeah.
They got pretty much everything, but you can't go to the cafeteria from there. But it's pretty much its own unit.
Well, they don't have a cafeteria. They got a day room. What they would do, they get food sent there from the cafeteria.
Yeah, that's what I guess, because I've never really been in there. Yeah. So I know they get their food. They don't have to go to the cafeteria, maybe I should say.
They don't have to go to the cafeteria because some of them is not able to go to the cafeteria because of their medical conditions.
Right.
And so they got their own library. They got this. You're right. You know, they got, man, this. You don't have to leave there if you don't want to for nothing. They got their own weight room in there. They got everything over there. You know. So
now you're at your aide in Linden. When do you go over the wall? Go to
minimum Lino Lakes?
Yeah. When do you get to Lino Lakes?
I went to Lino Lakes. I stayed out there with Lino Lakes about 2000 and I think like 20.
Okay.
About 220. Because see, before I went to Lino Lakes, when I was in Faribault still, the COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so COVID shut a lot of stuff down. So we were no movement and nothing. So I did all the program. I'll go do that. I was doing a program there. And it was like, I talked to the commissioner. I had my meeting with the commissioner.
Who's the commissioner now? Is it?
It was not Tom Roy.
No,
it was Paul Schnell.
It's Paul Schnell.
Paul Schnell now. I had my parole here with Paul Schnell. My niece flew up here from Chicago. You know, Tasha, she flew up here from Chicago. Her and my nephew, Lonnie. And which only one person could come to your parole hearing. So he just flew up here with her for support. And she came to my parole hearing with Paul Schnell. And he had the meeting telling me about letting me know what's about to happen. You know, I'll be going to minimum, how long I got to stay there, the recommendations that is required of me, so forth and so on. And what I did, I had a chronological sheet of everything I've done while I was incarcerated for those 30 years, which I had presented, which was in my file. I kept it in my file, and this is what the commissioner looked at, all the stuff I did while I was incarcerated. And so he's seen that, and all I did, you know, it was kind of, you know, he was amazed by it that I didn't wait on them to tell me to do nothing. I took it upon myself.
So that's the moral of the story. It's about self-initiation, this autonomous behavior, this self-motivated, that's moving towards something other than foolishness, right? It's growth. It's you know, because we look at prisons as being these deserts where nothing grows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You walk through it, you know what I'm saying, and it can't nothing beautiful come up out of it. But there's a lot of beauty in prison, right?
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's like,
sir.
I seen people make flowers out of toilet paper in prison.
Man,
and it looked like a flower
in
prison. You know what I'm saying?
Make it out of toilet paper, crochet it, make it out of, man. I seen not only that, carved images out of soap. It's just so many talented people up there.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, man. And it just amazed me at all the talent in here. There's one thing about the prison to pull up out of you, and a lot of guys don't really know about themselves. They pull that creativity out of you.
Right, yeah.
You start getting creative with things, because now you're looking for things to do to occupy your time, so that creativity start coming out.
Yeah, and like you said, the issue is the time. So the conversation I'm having with you is, what did you do with your time? You just told me that you didn't let time use you. You used time.
Exactly.
Become productive and become the man that sit in front of us right now. So take me to the day that you are in minimum and you getting ready to, because you are in the public in minimum, because we know you're working, you're in vans coming back and forth, but the day you make it to 180.
Day I make it to 180.
Now how did that happen? Walk me through. Like, do they come and tell you you're being granted parole? And then how many hours or days or weeks before that, when they say it, do you actually go to 180?
They came, I had my parole hearing, and I think it was like, he told me you'll be going, I think within the next 60 days, 60 to 90 days, you'll be getting out. And when he told me that,
Did you cry? Did you cry?
Did you cry? A little bit.
A little bit. I mean, just to hear that, like, be all the way to Oak Park Heights, to drop all the way down, now to be sitting on the side where you not monitor. No, now you got to understand now, for the people that's listening, minimum, you still got a guard with you.
Yeah.
In public. Now you about to be out by yourself.
You do.
Right.
One of the things that being out by my, and it's funny because when I'm at minimum, they got a crew called ICWIC.
ICWIC, yeah, I know ICWIC.
I got on the ICWIC crew. They took me out to ICWIC. The first day it was in the wintertime. They took me out to ICWIC. Man, I'm in the van. The guy tell me, go with these guys and go to work with them. Man, I didn't even want to get out the van. That's how paranoid I was. I didn't even want to get out the van.
Hold on for 1 second.
Okay.
Laville on the phone. What's up?
You tell me, Charlie. I'm just checking on you. I haven't heard from you in a minute. Like you said, everything's all good with you.
I got Islam and Vava right here right now. We interviewing.
Oh, okay.
I'm into it, but we about to talk about health services in a little bit. So we about to chop it up on health services.
Okay, you know what? I'm about 35, 40 minutes away. I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna interrupt y'all flow though. Go ahead.
All right, bro. All right. I'm for sure. Hook up with you, man, and we gonna chop it up.
Okay, don't ain't tripping. It's all good.
Yes, sir. Keep your head up. All right, one. Excuse me. All right. We taping back on.
Okay.
So we you was at ICWIC.
Yeah, what was that?
You said they told. I remember your story. I remember the story though.
Yeah.
You said that they you can leave out or go somewhere else.
Yeah, you tell me we supposed to go work. It was wintertime. We supposed to go out and shovel the overpass of the highway. And when I was seeing the guys get out, I didn't even want to get out the van.
So is it anxiety? What is it that's keeping you? Are you just shook? You don't want to get violent. What's going through your head?
Man, shook, anxiety, paranoid. Didn't know how to react or respond to just being able to step out and walk somewhere free.
Without having a guard.
Without having a guard.
Yeah.
There, of thinking about where's the guard there, but not walking right beside you, walking, not having handcuffs on, not having shackles on, being able to get out of a van.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know how to respond to that. And so I asked the crew leader, I said, well, what if somebody speak to me? What else am I supposed to do? Am I to speak back? Can I say, So I didn't know what to, how to respond to this and that. So that was my first time out. Then
I know.
Yeah, I was paranoid, and I was I didn't know how to respond. So much was just going through my mind, because society has changed so much, and looking at stuff on TV, you can say the littlest thing, and everybody caught up on cell phones and everything. I don't know if I say something, somebody will take the wrong way, or say I done said something bold that get me sent back to prison or what. So I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do going on Ickwick and stuff.
And that's a transition that is not being spoken about, that exists, that I don't think they're gonna ever have a solution for. You know, that transition back into society, because I felt that same transition when I entered back into my family. I felt like I've been so many years and I didn't know how to fit back in, you know, and I felt like it took a minute for me to get back into that groove of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So life, we talking about life in general, trying to get back into the groove of life, because prison, everything's uniformed and programmed.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's so structured. It's so structured. I mean, the guys that have been locked up with me have become a family, man, like you. I got real close with you. Got real close with Tremaine. Real close with Nubs.
With Southside.
Yeah, you know, so Southside. Yeah. You know, when we was in Faribault, man, just got so close with you brothers and stuff.
I remember when you was in the kitchen in Stillwater.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, when I could sit down and talk with y'all, and if something come about to kind of, you know, ask some advice and things, because we still relate to people that you've been locked up with.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You still go there, you know, exactly, a brotherhood that you can go and ask them questions. You know, man, man, how did I approach this? How did I do that? You know, so being on Ickwick, then I get off that crew because my complication by my hip fracture. And so I'm like, man, they got me in the snow this daggone high, going down hills, when to cut trees and all this. I'm like, man, I'm not finna be going down and doing that. So we're doing that, and now I get changed. They put me back in the unit. So they put me on yard crew. Mm-hmm. So I'm on yard crew for a while, and then I get off yard crew. They take me off of yard crew. He said, "You ready to go back to Ickwick?" He said, "Because you got to work Ickwick because it's one of the recommendations by Paul Schnell, the commissioner." So I get back on Ickwick, and I'm working with another guy, which is Tim. And man, it was so good. Now he working out at the time out in Edina. Mm-hmm. He said, "Well, Islam downtown." He said, "Well, I know you've been locked up for a while, long time. There's a lot of housewives down there, so don't be, you know, gawking this and that, you know." So we get out in the summertime. Man, I'm a man. I'm a look.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm looking at all these beautiful women down there.
All we seen is busted ass guards in these guard uniforms.
Yeah, I ain't been around beautiful women like this in years. I'm hearing all this garbage in there for these guards. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They already got their mindset, even if you right, you wrong type of mentality and attitude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in a free world.
Yes, sir.
I'm in a free world, and I'm experiencing this free world, but now I'm still lost. Because my crew leader said, "Well, this is where we go use the bathroom." And it was a store. And I told my crew leader, "I ain't going nowhere unless one of y'all is with me."
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't even go to the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Unless I had somebody with me.
Yeah.
That's how paranoid I was. I said, man, no. You know, some of the guys, they laughing, they tripping. I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even go to a bathroom.
It's understandable, you know what I'm saying? It's just coming from where you came from and going through all that, you know, that psychological warfare that's placed on your brain, you know what I'm saying? You get to a point of paranoia, to a point that paranoia kept you alive and kept you conscious of your surroundings. So I truly do understand that. I wanna get you to 180.
Now I'm at 180, and so I get out. I go to 180. Now before I go to 180, the case manager took me a tour to 180, and they took me a tour through the bridge program.
Okay.
So I go through there. I go through 180. They take me around the house, see where I'm gonna be living at. I get to 180. Then I go to the bridge, so I get to 180, and now I'm staying at 180. And then automatically, lifers, I don't know if they did with the other lifers or not, but I think from my point of view, all lifers most of them had to go to the bridge program, which is a prison job.
Right.
Working for $3 an hour.
$3 an hour. And how long are you in bridge? For 2 months?
For 90 days. They had to stay there
for 3 months. 90 days in bridge where you making what, $3
$3 an hour.
Right. And then where the rest of the money going back to?
The rest of the money they says paying house and board at the halfway house.
Which makes no sense because, which is whatever. We ain't gonna even get into that. But somebody else is getting your money.
Yeah.
And you trying to save up because you need to get out of 180.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I worked there. I worked there. I was in the halfway house, so I stayed there till my 90 days. So once my 90 days of damn married, they want me to do in 4 months to have a apartment lined up, job lined up, and all this.
And you've been locked up for 30.
Been locked up for 30.
But you supposed to do all this stuff in 90.
In 4 months.
But 4 months, and most people can't even do it in a year.
Yeah, but most lifers they have doing 12 months. They have a year, 7 to a year. They want me to do it 4 months.
Was your program a new program?
What I was thinking at the beginning of getting transferred, have my stuff interstate, going back to Chicago.
Well, what the program that they let you out on, you said that most lifers. So is this a new program that they got you on? They would go. I think it has something to do with me talking about we'll get transferred to Chicago. Oh, okay.
Because I told them I didn't know if I would keep my parole up here in Minnesota.
Okay.
And due to the fact that I was thinking about going back to Chicago, I think that's why they made my time short. But even with that being said,
yes, sir,
I still think they should have given me a lot of time where I could generate a job to have some money. If I'm in the bridge, they said you could get a part-time job.
Yeah.
But my work police say they wouldn't let me get a part-time job.
Right, but then why are you working 2 jobs when you could really only need to work that one job? They
Exactly.
paid you enough money,
Exactly.
you'll be good. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And Bridge, what you doing? Working at Anagram?
Anagram, you working 8 hours Anagram.
Now, Anagram is where they fold the balloons.
Where they fold the balloons.
Yeah.
They say to try and get you integrated back into society and get that work ethic back in line to build a work ethic.
But you've been doing that through minimum anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Through minimum ICWIC is building up a work ethic.
Right.
Because if them crew leaders see that your work ethic ain't up to par, they kick you off that crew.
Right.
They kick you off that crew. So ICWIC is a work ethic within itself.
So this is, to me, it's just, so this is me saying, this is SF Mo, Smoothest Podcast History, saying that to me, it all goes back to them lining their pockets over and over again, right? Again and again and again. Because to my situation, there should be no reason why, really, in ICWIC, you should be making your own money because they know eventually you're going to need that money for housing, car, clothes, whatever, child support. It don't matter what it is. Somebody other than the DOC needs that money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you can do better. You can help people's lives about that. So 180, your first day at 180. What's the first meal you get?
First meal I get, I think you and brother Tremaine came over. Y'all brought me some. So I think it was some black-eyed peas, and so y'all went. I forgot where y'all got this stuff.
I know I came up with when we bought you your clothes.
Oh no, Tremaine.
Yeah, Tremaine must have came. He might have went to Mama Sheila's.
He did.
And bought you the Mama Sheila's meal.
He did.
Yeah, so that sounds like Mama Sheila's.
Yep, that's what Tremaine bought me. Tremaine went over there.
And how that meal taste?
Oh my God!
It's already know. Hey, so this is what we about to do. We about to go to break. Come back. I'm about to sit down with you. We're gonna chop it up for a few minutes. Just recap a few things, and then we're gonna go on to the next episode. But right now, I just appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. You've always been a good guiding light. A real respected man within art. Both on one side of the wall and to the opposite side of the wall. I'm proud to have you with me. You following the commissioner's interview, and I think it's spectacular. I think it's the right interview following the commissioners, a man who actually put in the work, and now he's on the opposite side of the wall. We'll be right back. Sunset Flow. sometimes I put up stuff on Facebook, but more the majority of the stuff I'm like IG or TikTok or whatever. Like
IG.
like what?
What's IG?
Instagram.
Okay.
So like the stuff that we just did right now with the photos and stuff, I'll throw that up on IG or TikTok. You know what I'm saying, and get people to watch, and let people know that it's going. I'm gonna have you on, but we getting ready to get started right now. Welcome back to SF Mo, your prison lawyer, smoothest podcast host, podcast history. You don't believe me? Go ask your mom. With my man,
David Al-Mustafa Islam.
Yes, sir. He just brought us up to speed on, the 30 years that he put in, 30 years straight, y'all. I mean, the man stood on 30 years. And he's the same brother that I knew on the other side of the wall that I know now. He's always been a stand-up brother. I always gravitate to individuals like himself because they're role models. You know what I'm saying? You see a man like that in the joint. I'm telling y'all, I'm wishing that nobody go, but if you do find yourself in circumstances like the penitentiary, like being in the jungle, you understand, you want to go with individuals who have a frame of mind that's going to get you out of that situation, or been around long enough and they stand strong. So what I was intrigued with about when I thought you should be on, the reason I thought that you should be on the show, Islam, is because most people who was given that amount of time would break down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They go insane like we just talked about.
Right.
They wouldn't be sitting next to me right now. It's my brother chopping it up with me, standing tall, strong, faculties all together. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So we talked about, family support. We know that family is the key to us making it through that journey, right?
Yes.
Just even somebody picking up the phone, But I want to go, so you left me at 180. 180 is a halfway house in Minneapolis, deplorable. I was brought into that situation. That's my opinion as SF Mo, prison lawyer, smooth podcast, host podcast history. I say 180 is deplorable. I was there, they sent me back. Never wanted to go back there again. Catch my brother there. Get to 180. You said your first meal was from
my brother Tremaine.
He brought them. The next day we try to bring up hygiene for you. Brought you some you had a lot of stuff. A lot of people, because you're such a good brother, a lot of people had already come, and touched you and helped you, and but you did have a few problems. The first problem you had was, again, you was talking about working for Anagram.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And trying to go and thinking about going back to the crib. Now, what made you decide that you wanted to stay here? Because I know at a certain time you was kind of like, what should I do? What I should do? What was the turning point that made you stay in Minnesota?
Well, right now, I'm still on anchor braces as we speak. And I still might end up going to Chicago because my niece and nephew know. Being there to support my niece and nephew because I feel like I should have been there for them, but they got their own businesses. And I stayed here because I want to try to generate something for myself and I want to try to open up a business. But it's just some of the individuals that I come close to, like yourself, like the brother Tremaine. Y'all was there. As soon as I got out, y'all was at the door.
Yes, sir.
And Tremaine came every day since I was in 180, just about.
Shout out to Tremaine, your good brother.
So, shout out to brother Tremaine.
Well, one second, we gonna hook. So we was just talking about just like the transitions from doing the 30, getting out, and then trying to acclimate yourself back into society, and like little small things. Because I just remember, trying to work with just your debit card. You know what I'm saying? And deal with that, and being in a situation where we're like, I remember calling your PO and having your PO tell you only can go to the places you needed to go. He can't stop for gas.
Yeah, she violated me for that, man. Cause me and you stopped, got something to eat. They stopped to get some gas, and she violated me for us to get something to eat. You get some gas. I said, well, Dad, the man needed some gas in his car.
Yes, sir.
And we just got a bite because everything was over with.
Yes, sir.
And she said, well, it wasn't on your plan, so that calls for a violation. And she violated. I said, wow. Then we go to, I couldn't even contact her when I had a problem with my card.
Let's walk through the debit card situation. So you go to the store to use your debit card. You got two cards.
Right.
You got one that you get out of prison with.
Right, which they didn't recognize.
And then you had another one from the bank.
Right.
And then neither one of them gonna work for you that day. So we trying to figure out how to work it out. And there's a bank right across the street from us.
Right across the street.
And you calling your PO trying to get authorization to go to the bank. It's crazy. And the bank right across, it's within walking distance. And it was just crazy, man. I was just so frustrated that day. And she never called us back. She probably ain't called back to this day in regards to that situation.
Mm-hmm. Now, I called her. I finally got to talk to her. And I explained to her the situation. I said, well, I needed to get some money because my card wasn't working in the store to use my card. Man, I had to get the tailor to help me with the card because I still didn't know how to use it.
Right, you know? That's a big thing too. Like, go ahead to that. I just thought about something. Go ahead, say it.
And so the tailor, so I had to go back to the car with you, and I'm asking you, I don't know what to do. I don't know. You said, well, call your worker. You said, I called her. She never called back. So I ended up leaving without even getting my product because she wouldn't allow, I didn't want to get violated by going to try and get some money with my debit card, even though I'm still getting people to help me because I don't even know how to use a debit card.
And that's the funniest thing that I have to say is because I was trying to explain a debit card to you and a check. And I was trying to explain to you that a debit card is nothing but a check. It's just the plastic form of it, and it works the same way. We were sitting in the car that day. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it was just what I'm getting at. I'm just saying, like, that's missed for 30 years, but that's something they're not telling individuals as they get out, and it's something that you had to try to figure out, like, real time. Like, because I was trying to explain to you, like when you use a debit card, it's just like using a check. It's a card opposed to writing out a check like we used to a while ago. That's all it is. It comes right out of your checking account, and that situation just really bothered me. Just the fact that they don't do enough with bringing everybody up to speed as they get out, and then you run into situations like we ran into where it's real time and there's really nothing you can do. And if you do anything other, like if you did go over to the bank, she would have violated you again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For going to that bank because it wasn't on your planner. And even what I was shocked at is how she was telling you how you were supposed to go to things as they were listed on your planner.
Exactly.
So, so we couldn't even go here and go there. We had to go whatever you had listed. It was just, but I'm glad you made it through it. It's another one testament to, because that was nothing, because you did the 30, and this was nothing, but it was just that you dealing with. And like I told the commissioner, I felt as though your parole is the, as they look at, like when he was talking about it, they looking at you. So when they let somebody else out, they gonna base it on how you did your deal.
I think that they need to have something prepared where guys can prepare themselves to what to come out here. I took a class in restorative justice. I was teaching, mentor, facilitating. And I seen this video on this brother named Shaka Shanhura that was given to me by Nisha Nichols that was of restorative justice. And the brother did 17 years. He said, think about going in there, you in prison, you leave the street, go in there, it's like the Flintstones. You come out, it's like the Jetsons.
Right, that's true indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
True indeed.
And so everything felt like I was in the Stone Age time, and now everything was so advanced, I don't have a clue what the hell is going on.
Right, and even with the cars now, when I got out, my daughter said this to me. I was like, I'm gonna take your mom's car and drive it. She's like, Dad, you don't even know how to turn the car on, push button. I didn't, because I didn't know it was a push. I didn't know you had to put your foot on the brake, push the button, get the car started. I'll be stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just that. And I wasn't locked up for that long, but still, just in the time I was locked up, things had changed up so much. So I know when you coming out, when you in there, it was, 92, 93?
92, yeah. 92.
92, it was, it was a lot of stuff. You watch a movie in 92 and it look old. You know what I'm saying? So coming back into it. So what was your biggest learning curve since you've been out?
My biggest learning curve is navigating around the state, you know, and getting help from brothers, you know, because for me to get around the state, you was the one taking me around everywhere I needed to go. You know, you was, because it was hard for me on the bus, and I don't know where to go, so I let you know what my work release agency say, and you would take me, when time would allow you, you would take me from A to B.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I kind of was getting around and learning and stuff. And that's my biggest thing, was learning how to get around the state. And when I go to places to get my state ID, to get my social security card, you know, I'm having difficulties with that, because they give me a state ID that they say should be recognized, but when I get down there, it's not recognized.
You talking about the DOC ID?
Exactly.
That new thing that they're giving out.
That they give you.
Show them the phone too that you was using for a while, like you was getting out.
Phone.
It's like, hold on.
Okay.
That's like, don't show it to him.
This is
like,
the phone.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
That's a Star Trek.
Yeah, you know, and I look at it, you know, you can't have no internet on it.
No internet. No internet. No GPS.
No GPS, nothing.
Nothing.
And when I got this, I used to tell guys about this back in the day, that they did, this was already prearranged for society. And this is what they started out with. This is what we come out after 30 years.
Yeah. I didn't even
get around.
And I didn't even know how to use, like, send a text on it. You sending a text, it's gonna take you all day. You send a text on that phone. You trying to send a text to a person? A, B, B, C, 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 E, 1, 2, 3.
Like, my work used to tell me, text me. I said, I didn't want to text.
Forever.
You talking about texting you on something that ain't got no internet. You guys to be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I had one of these when I got out too.
And then they give you this ID.
Yeah, straight out of prison. Come on, man. Hold it up. Yeah. Let me
give you that to tell you
to use that.
Like,
but I'm just saying, come on, man, when you first meet a person, first thing you show them is a prison ID. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, that's a man, person automatically like, oh, what's going on with you? You know? So it's just like, it's to me, it's just this curve that they haven't accounted for. You know what I'm saying? It's like they put you, like the whole time I sat in the joint, I wanted to get out. I don't know if it happened to you or anybody, but when I first got home, for the first 30 days, all I wanted to do was go back in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I was so frustrated. I thought it'd be easier. I'm getting harassed by my PO, can't find no job. You know what I'm saying? My housing situation is funny, although I have some support, still it's just, I feel like by this PO breathing on me 24/7, if I do go back, they're gonna look at me as a failure. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he fucked up again. He can't stay straight. He want to be back in prison. It's not that. It's just like, it's so frustrating. Then have to get out and take the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like the bus, and it's not like Illinois, like our buses run at the crib. These buses run so funny, mm-hmm. It might take you 3 hours to get a place that's 15 minutes away. Because you got to go all the way downtown, come all the way back, and do this.
And I got lost in doing that. I got lost a couple of times. I was literally downtown. Didn't know where I was at downtown for an hour, walking around.
I remember you told me that shit.
I had to call the halfway house and tell them I was lost.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know where I'm at.
That's when 180. That was 180. Yeah, I remember when I first came here from Illinois, I took the bus, and I thought it was like the crib. So I get on the bus. I take the bus downtown Minneapolis, and at the crib, the same bus that you jump on is the same bus that take you back.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, I'm just going to jump back on this 5. This 5 take me to Bloomington, drop me off by the airport. I'm about to cry because I don't even know how to get back home. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, but this is just a whole situation that we deal with. And the reason I brought that story up to say that getting out of the joint and then coming back home, it's like as much as you want to be back home, it's like, are you prepared to be back home? Are they making you prepared to be back home?
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. And we need to talk more to these individuals about how to prepare these individuals as they get, because like I said, the main reason so when I was talking to the commissioner, what he suggested is you and I become peers and we walk with the guys 30 days when they come out, right?
Yeah.
And I said, that's a marvelous idea because I know what you're going through. I know what you need. I know I could be your support. You know what I'm saying? Like when you came out, I was as much as I tried to deal with you and try to understand what was going on, I could understand what you was going through.
Yeah, and you was a big support because you was there. To be honest, you was there walking with me through that.
Right.
You know, and we talking about this whole situation.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you was that support far as getting me from X, Y, and Z, you know what I'm saying, and understanding, you know, and I didn't want to infringe on your life, but you was helping me throughout that whole ordeal.
And I know Osama Ithaca helped you a lot too.
Yeah.
You're picking you up from work.
Picking me up from work. He come and pick me up from work. But when I come out of work, be right there waiting on me when I come out of work.
He's a good brother. He's a good brother.
Very
Real good brother. Yeah. Just talk to him. What's up? What's up, Osama?
Osama.
What's up?
Peace.
So same with Ghost. What's up, Ghost? You know? Yeah. You know.
Tremaine was a big help.
Yeah, he's a good brother.
He most definitely a good brother. He took, man.
I want to say one thing about Tremaine. And Tremaine, I know you don't want this to come out with you. Just don't get into like buying his meals when he go to chow because he always get over. You know what I'm saying? You think you winning with him. You think you winning. No. I'm testifying. Every time I talk to that dude, I feel like I'm trying to buy his chicken from him. We about to go to chow. And I think I'm coming back with a good deal. And I look at this man slick as hell. He's been a car salesman. Tell him about that shit all the time. Watch Tremaine. Hey, man. What's up, bro? Yeah, what's up? So since you've been out, have you been with are you with a female currently?
No.
So what's the situation with that? Is it just you having a hard time with relationships? You just ain't found the right woman? You just not looking for a woman right now? What's the business?
Well, you know, right now I ain't really I've been looking, but I've not been looking. I've been trying to get myself straight.
Yes, sir.
If I come across one, it's all good, but I got to get myself straight because it's a lot for me to get acclimated back to out here.
Right.
You know, if I can't be having my mind set on no woman,
right,
and I ain't got myself together.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm still adjusting. You know, I'm still ain't got a full-time job. I'm working at Source Second Chance right now.
Oh, okay.
I did that just to get out the halfway house.
Well, when we talked, you was at Emerge. Is that Emerge? That's the same place.
Same place.
Okay.
It's also a program. I went there after the bridge.
Okay.
You know, but it's paying minimum wage.
Yes.
So it's making me, you know, I'm trying
to
get myself together.
Baby steps.
Exactly.
Baby steps.
Because if you're trying to rush to something, you can fall back into the old way behaviors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you ain't back up present. Them 30 years still sitting in the back of my mind.
Yeah, it's fresh. That shit fresh.
So I'm still trying to work on it to get a good full-time job. If a female coming in the process of that, man, I love that.
I'm do a lot.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
You know, but at the same time, I'm not just for doing anything either.
Yes, sir. You could choose too.
Yeah, without a doubt. So that's what my focus is on, trying to build myself up. You know, getting my credit together.
Yes, sir.
Some jobs,
So all that stuff. Do you see? This is the problem I'm having with the system in general. Is because it's like all that stuff you should already have right now.
Exactly.
You should already have your credit. You always be wise enough to be like, you know what? I already been working on my credit, so I already know what my credit's gonna look like. I already know what I need to do with my credit. I already got a banking account. I already got housing situation. I'm already looking at personal house. All that stuff should be implemented to make you whole as you come out, because there's no reason for you not to have it. You know, so with that being said, I seen that you posted those pictures that you graduated.
Yeah.
Now, how did that work out for you?
With the program in now, Emerge Second Chance, they had a manufacturing program class. So I did Hamilton Tech College. So I got into that, you know, because as I told you before, throughout the 30 years, I always try to get in education and stuff like that. So I got in that program when they just had, we just graduated this week, Thursday to be exact, was our graduation time, you know what I'm saying? And so I graduated from there and tried to continue on that path of trying to educate myself and trying to get better and what I need to do, because it don't stop.
Is there more programming that you're gonna do through them, or was that the only?
That's the next step to getting a job.
Oh, okay, understood.
Get a job. Doing that, you would get a job in the manufactured field.
Yeah, I got it.
The manufacturing is a variety of
Yeah, it's
and
huge.
fall.
It's,
Yeah,
yes,
so
it's huge.
it's to be in that line of work.
Yeah, that's great.
And they would have something set up where you need to try and get yourself set up in the manufacturing place. So we did the little schooling and everything, and now that's the next step.
So in closing, right now, where do you, so the next 5 years, where do you see yourself and what do you see yourself doing? You know what I'm saying? Where you at 5 years from now?
Having a job, having a woman, possibly a wife, you know, and just kicking back, you know, having a nice place, but hopefully have been about my house in the business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. All that positive, then some.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You know, because like I said, there's nothing keeping you from hitting those levels, and you definitely moving at the right pace and along that line. I mean, like I said, I appreciate the fact that you came out. I've been trying to get you here since you went to 180 to come sit down and talk to me, because I just think like stories like your stories need to be told, because I think they're being forgotten. I think people are romanticizing with them, trying to make it seem like it's something it's not. But from what you told me and what I listened to, that was a hard 30 years.
Oh, yeah. You know, one of the things that Brother Shane Price told me, he said he got a program called Power of People. He said that time is the real money.
Yes, sir. It's
You know what
always
I'm
been.
saying? And so due to the fact time being a real money is what you do with that time.
Yeah.
You can either waste it or you can do something with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I decided to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that was the real money for me, to do something with that time. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if it's the will of God that I will get up, and if I don't, then I will have something I left behind to contribute to the community and those that I dealt with.
Well, that's the thing that I have with these youth, is that they don't understand how valuable time is. They don't understand that you can't get it back. It's the one thing you can spend, but you can't get back. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So they just burn up time, like thinking like, you know what? Like I remember when I was in the joint. I'm gonna end on this story. I remember this gentleman. He had did 10 years. He was kind of cold with the law when I was A East. He was kind of cold with the law, and I was like when I was dealing with him. Anybody was cold with the law. I used to like always like, damn, how you get so cold with the law? And he was getting ready to go home in like 2 weeks. So I just remember thinking like, man, damn, I just wish I was in that position, to find out that when he got home, he went out on Lake Minnetonka and his boat tipped over and he died.
Wow.
Did 10 years. Within 2 weeks of him being out, he died. So time is truly valuable.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So you spent 30 years making yourself into the person that you are now. You know what I'm saying? You like I said, you used time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's truly important. Like I said, and that's what I think at the end of the day, what I want all y'all to get out of this is that it don't really matter where you at. It's just how you utilizing that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and you were such a, like, look at all the people you affected, all the individuals who still talking about you, like myself. You know what I'm saying? Like Tremaine, like Vel, like the brother Vava. You know, we all like, you know what I'm saying? Like Harry Moe. I just know, like, when I seen you and I seen how you moved, I just knew that I wanted to be around somebody like yourself. You understand? And I love loving you, brother. I appreciate everything you've done for me, because you always got them books. But hey, one thing I'm going to tell you about Islam, you better return this motherfucking book, Joe. He going to be at you about his book. Where my book at? But he had some books for your ass.
Right.
He had some truth. Yeah, but he wanted his book back. You better give him his book back.
Just share that knowledge, brother.
Yeah,
one thing I want to say, though, I can say this one. The one brother said, that Brother Shane said, is that he has a quote. I like this quote. He said that time won't let you know when it's over with, but it'll claim you when it's done.
Yes, sir. On that, it's always, hold on this, that's all good. Love, peace, love, and everything. This SAF Moe, your prison lord, sports podcast, social podcast history. You understand me? If you don't know, tell your girl to unblock you, and she'll tell you. SF Moe is the smoothest. I'm out of here.
Ron. What do you got to say about SAF Moe saying white MFers.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says, because it's America and you should be able to do and say what the fuck you want. God bless America.